Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay. This is Coloring Bliss. That's cute little Rose back there. And today we're going to talk about getting back to the basics, what I do to practice and get better at art. Before we get started, I have some new coloring pages, some summer themed coloring pages for you. This first one right here was actually drawn way back in 2016 by me. And it is a cute little Rose, and I'm taking her for a sweet summer walk. This one is free for a limited time, so follow the link in the video description to come and download this fun summer themed coloring page. Now this one right here is a brand new coloring page, and it was drawn by one of our Bliss artists, and I love it. Look how she's sitting here looking out over this field. I want to be her. I want to be sitting right there. So this one is a new coloring page, and then we have this one as well, a beautiful beach scene. I want to be right there on the beach. So we have these two right here, and they are part of our premium library, so come on over to Coloring Bliss and become a member. It's just $5 a month, and you get access to hundreds, literally hundreds of coloring pages and resources all waiting for you, including these two brand new pages. She is doing her job well, so she gets a treat. So every year I choose a theme for myself. I don't like setting big goals at the beginning of the year because I usually don't keep them. But this idea of having an overreaching theme for every year has worked really well for me. And this year, this has been my theme. It's develop a passion for practice. And part of this passion for practice has been me doing research on how to practice. What's the best way to practice? What are the theories behind practice, so that as I'm practicing my skills in art, I don't waste my time. I want to get better, and I want to achieve small little goals along the way. So I've been researching a lot of quotes, and I have some really fun quotes to share with you that I have found, and I really like their theory on practice. And the first one is a quote by Sting. This was a quote he shared in an interview on a YouTube video. And what he said was, "I need to practice. I still practice. There is no other way." I love that. Here is a musician that is worldwide known. He is really amazing at what he does, and yet he knows the power and the importance of practice. So that's my first quote. The second quote is by Pablo Picasso, and he says, "I am always doing that which I cannot do in order that I may learn how to do it." And I like that idea. I need to think about the things I can't do, and instead of avoiding them, I need to go out and do them. It's just basic. You do it and you learn it. So the next one is by my most favorite artist of all time, which is Vincent van Gogh. And he said, "Great things are done by a series of small things brought together." And that gives me hope, and it makes me feel like I can do it. If I can do a series of small things well, then you put all those little small things together and something great will happen. And that's been my theory behind practice over the last few months. I want to practice small things, get back to the basics, practice those things so that as I work on bigger and other art projects, that practice can pay off and move me forward. So one of the very first things I did was start an art journal, and I'll put a link to this particular art journal in the video description if you're interested. It's a watercolor book. It's quite large, and it's made by Arteza, but what I like about it is this canvas cover makes it feel very professional and important, and I want my practice to feel like it's an important time to me. It has a little red ribbon to hold your marker in your place, and it's got a nice little elastic here to hold the whole book together as it gets bigger. The pages always warp like this. And then in the beginning of the book, I wrote down my goal for the year. I put down develop a passion for practice, art every day, practice, and these are the things that I specifically wanted to practice. Drawing flowers in different styles, styles, watercolor and gouache, and mixed media decoupage type art. So I started this book at the very beginning, actually December 2021, so the end of 2021, and I've been working in it and doing, some things have been successful in this book and other things have been just me messing around. Like this is just some rinse water from this Fine Tech paint testing that we did back in December 2021, and I washed it out here to see what kind of effect it would give. Here's some flowers that I was practicing, some more flowers. Some of them are really weird and some of them are really good. Here's another kind of art that I started practicing, the neurographic art, and the things I learned and some practice I did with the neurographic art. Here is a decoupaged page that I practiced on and did a girl. Don't really like her eyes, but I love her lips and I love her hair, and I love the way the decoupaged pieces of paper worked in and around her. I think that turned out really good and fun. Learned a lot. The next page in here is this one here. It's a quote from something I was reading, and I just wanted to do some fun loose watercolor flowers. Here's where we were testing the Derwent mixed media set. These flowers, I just wanted to practice drawing the same flower over and over, so I laid down some blobs of color and then turned them into flowers and leaves. Here's a 2-page spread where I was again practicing flowers, and we were using Derwent paints here and Kuretake paints here. So much fun. And now we get into my new book, and this comes back to the beginning of this video where I talked about getting back to the basics and not being afraid to practice. Practice things that you know and practice things that maybe you don't know yet. So I went to Hobby Lobby, our local crafts and art store, and I found this book here, and I highly recommend it. I'm going to give a link to this book so that you can get it if this is something that inspires you. This Sara Berrenson, she also has a second book that I'm going to be ordering because I love the way she teaches. She's so approachable and makes me feel like I can accomplish and succeed at coloring and painting watercolor flowers. So let me show you this book real quick. I'm not going to show you all of it because I want you to buy it and support the author here. But what I liked about it, and the reason I picked this book, was because she starts out, this is all about her, she starts out with supplies you need, but then she gets into some basic skills that you can practice. This is color theory. And then she gets into strokes and how to use your paintbrush effectively, the different things that your paintbrush can do. So you can see here is me following her examples. I did a whole bunch of round brush strokes. I tried using different colors of paint and letting them bleed into each other. Here's practicing having the least amount of water mixed into your paint, and then a ton of water, and then we practiced layering, and we practiced wet on dry. That's all of these different activities that she gives you in this book. And then we get into actual applicable strokes that work for flowers. So I did some leaves, and I did some petals. These are just some loose petals. And then over here, I was practicing the filler leaves that she teaches you to do. And then what happens in this book, which I love, look at all these fun things you get to learn. And then she takes you to 50 flowers, and she's going to walk you through. There are step-by-step instructions here on how to paint this flower. She even gives you a pre-drawn version, so if you want to practice painting right here in the book, you can. I'm choosing to do my painting of the flowers in this book here. So let me show you my first attempt at the agapanthus. It's the love flower. So here's her final version right here, and here is mine. And my goal is to do these relatively fast, not to be too picky so that I don't get bogged down in one flower. And then once I finish, I want to write down things that I wish I had done better or things that I learned as I did this flower. So I put here clusters of strokes bundled together, details add believability, and more clusters for fuller flower. So that was so much fun to me to practice this. And then now I'm getting ready to go on to the next flower in her series, which is this one right here. Can't wait to do it. I'm going to just sort of thumb through this book so you can see the different kinds of flowers that she teaches and how easy she makes it look. Especially after doing that preliminary practice of the different strokes and putting different colors together. I can't wait to make my way through this entire book, all 50 flowers. So I have a question for you now. What basics, what things do you wish you could go back and relearn or learn now so that you can practice and get better at art? Comment below what those things are, because I would love to hear. And here at Coloring Bliss, we have so many YouTube tutorials, and we have an entire library of hundreds of hours of teaching that is available to you over at coloringbliss.com. So I recommend that if what you want to learn is maybe to get better at color pencils or alcohol markers, or maybe you want to try your hand at gouache and see how it works, we have lessons on all of those topics waiting for you so that you can practice more efficiently and get better at your artistic skill. Practice is never time wasted. It's always time well spent. So I encourage you to get in and get practicing those basic skills. Thank you so much for watching. It was fun to share with you my goals and what I'm working on currently. When I get all 50 flowers done, I'm going to do another video and share it with you. So thanks again for watching. Good luck with all your practicing, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.